Hey everybody, I'm Kristen Ledlow. We have taken our show on the road to Oakland, California, here at the Warriors practice facility. We are 1 week into the new year, and Grant, in his advanced age, is of course already exhausted. So I have employed a very capable co-host, the MVP of the 2015 NBA Finals, the Warriors' Andre Iguodala. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited. You guys are off to what has become a usual red hot start here in Oakland. What are your thoughts on the first just few months of the season?
That's right, and of course we want you guys to go for free, but first we got to congratulate Erica Scott. You see her name right there. You're Tuesday's lucky winner. Congratulations. And from what I hear from her email, she is Drake's biggest fan ever.
Oh, so isn't the next person who wins tomorrow.
Exactly. So Drake, look forward to that. You're going to be seeing your biggest fan ever. But we want to give away 2 more tickets. All you got to do right now, email us your name, your mailing address, and your phone number. Don't leave any of that stuff out or else you're disqualified. And we want you to go for free to goodnewsshow@WTXL.tv.
You and I believe we're actually seated on the same flight,
yes,
like the day of the Kevin Durant news, and
yes,
it seems like a lot has unfolded since then. How has the team transitioned, and how has he?
You already know my umbrella story, Sean. I leave them everywhere I go.
Has a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals become a motivating factor for you?
So you might need your umbrella right now, but I know people won't need them at all on Sunday because guess what they're going to be doing?
You're known as the ultimate Swiss Army knife guy, the kind of guy that can do anything that he's asked night in and night out. Is there one part of your game that you specifically take pride in at this point in your career?
Failed immediately. They're going to be watching the Oscars. He got it. The Academy Awards, and they're actually getting social. A new free app provides all things Oscars to film buffs armed with their smartphones. Now, if fashion is more your thing, several websites are actually gearing up to live blog the fashion-anigans as they happen.
For you, much like my usual co-host Grant on the Suns and Clippers, you're a veteran leader, of course not quite as veteran as Grant was at that point, but in your 13th season, which is pretty incredible. How do you put all of that experience to use on the floor night in and night out?
I know, those worst dress lists are usually dead on, but that's my favorite part of watching the Oscars.
Just going to say that.
Seriously, and you guys can catch all the action, of course, on Sunday night right here on ABC 27 HD. You gonna check it out?
I feel a little better back then, though.
Of course, we gotta judge their outfits. I mean, hello.
You are, though, well on your way to taking Grant's job. Interview over, done. We can go ahead and come back later with a whole lot more from Oakland. Stay tuned. He and I will be right back.
Now, when we come back, Ann Emanuel is gonna have a look at what's coming up tonight, plus the latest headlines from our newsroom. Don't go away. All right, thanks, Ernie. Clay, I've got to ask you first. Last year, you come in with the motivation of revenge on your mind. What's the mentality this time around? I've got some motivation for you, Nick. Now, Charles says that you're going to win, but both Shaq and Kenny said that you're going to finish dead last. Do you have anything for the guys?
You know, if you go to a Cavaliers game, you don't expect to be able to talk to or touch LeBron James.
Right.
If you show up to the Cox Pavilion in Vegas and he's sitting there, then it's likely that you can. Right?
And Ernie said that you'd finish last because you won't be able to celebrate after every made 3.
I think with the hype of last season and because how many people showed up,
who do you think is your biggest competition this time around?
just to see him in person will be cool.
Yeah.
I can tell by the way you're talking, though, that you're pretty confident that you've got this.
But it's incredible to see the jump that they make between those rookie and sophomore seasons.
Well, guys, we've given them some added motivation. Back to you.
Coming off an off season that started with injury recovery, rehab, first and foremost, how are you feeling physically?
Game 1 in Toronto, what was it that you were seeing that was allowing you to be so successful offensively?
Your teammate Gordon Hayward also having to go through a physical and mental recovery, saying he's basically 100%. What are you most looking forward to about playing alongside him?
Every single play and keep competing the way that you have.
Well, as you watched your teammates, so many of them so young, without you, without Gordon, throughout that postseason run, how much confidence does that give you in what they're capable of?
Leader Dwayne Wade, is it just me or is he, I mean, he's playing like he's, what, a decade younger, right?
You also recently said that this Celtics team could beat the Warriors in a 7-game series. What is it about this team this season that makes you feel that way?
It is Mother's Day this weekend. I know that you already know that. You guys have a baby boy. I'm sure that you already have something planned. I don't even have to remind you about this. But do you have any message for the mother of your child? Not your own mother, because If I remember correctly, you told me that she steered you away from soccer towards basketball. I mean, you kind of owe her everything, so you probably want to give her a good message also. Yeah.
How many times have you already been asked today about your looming free agency?
I haven't.
Not at all.
No, you're the first person.
Are you ready
asked.
for those questions this season?
No.
For you. Thank you so much. You are the best.
Yeah, no, same.
Yeah, no.
Now I'm like, wait, how old are we now?
Yeah,
when did
this
this
is a few
happen?
media days in. It's a few media
We've
days.
done this
yeah.
like a lot now.
Yeah.
They just said it, a playoff career high for you. You were unstoppable in that third quarter. Where did the momentum shift and what allowed you to be so effective? I'm looking to learn Polish.
Okay.
Hoping that you and I can sit down here today and just get it done. That way I can take it back home.
You got it.
Well, I have a couple of things here. I'm going to read the Polish translation and you tell me what it is that you think I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Gortat, jest, najlepszym osrodkiem lidze. And it didn't come without adversity. You overcome a 16-point deficit. We see an ankle scare for you in the third. How are you feeling now, and what was the difference in those final minutes? Lidze. You're now one win away from yet another trip to the NBA Finals. What becomes the message to this team as you head back to Boston? Yes! Oh my goodness! I can't believe you got.
Yeah, I was not expecting, though, a new king last night. I was expecting it to go to a Game 7. Possibly the Mavs make history and win a Game 7, first team to ever do that on the road. I didn't think we were going to see a new champion last night.
What is it about your team that no matter how far you fall behind in a game or in a series, you find a way to win?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Now, Dirk as the MVP, Jason Kidd with his first title after so many years in the league, Jason Terry with that trophy tattoo, or Mark Cuban. Now, of all of those side stories going on, who are you the most excited for?
Your team does rely so heavily on three-point shooting for your success. When you know that you have that kind of weapon in your arsenal, does it kind of give you that feeling that you can dig out of any hole?
It has been unbelievable. And moving on a little bit to the Heat now on the other end of things. Ooh. Obviously, ooh, and here it comes, one of the most scrutinized teams in all of sports history. How much do you think this Heat hype, per se, really played into this final?
A rematch for the NBA Finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers yet again, but what's the biggest difference from this time last year?
So true. Now, can we bring up that photo? Pretty funny, I think. The Miami Weep. Did you see this photo this morning?
Look at that.
Do you like it? Now, obviously, Eric Spoelstra getting criticized a lot because of coming forward to the media, telling them that, you know, there were some tears in the locker room. Do you think there were some tears in that locker room last night?
And finally, my co-host Grant Hill, to say the least, threw me under the bus the last time that you and him sat down. Yeah, it's very funny. It's all fun and games until you embarrass me on national television. He challenged you on my behalf to a shooting contest.
Well, Dallas certainly brought theirs. Now, off-season commercials, I know you saw those. A lot of the big names right now working out, getting ready for next year. What are you expecting for us to see this summer as far as, you know, the NBA goes? Any big moves you're expecting?
I'd like to gracefully back out of it.
I know. You're telling me. I would hate to see that happen. Of course, Dwight Howard, one of my favorite, and you know that I'm obsessed with the Orlando Magic. Now, finally, got to plug the show, Ramatrano Show. Where can we find? Thank you.
Get ready.
7.
Yep, that's right.
Weekdays. So
every day. Find him, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Ramatrano, thank you so much for being here today.
Anytime, you know it.
Thank you so much. Always good to see you.
It's a franchise-altering night in Atlanta. 4 picks between 3 and 34. What does this franchise hope to walk away with? Coach, how do you exploit a Warriors lineup without Draymond Green? Is there a general consensus surrounding this draft that there's a bit more uncertainty than in years past, not just with the talent available, but with potential moves to be made? With your team looking to become the first in NBA history to dig out of a 3-1 hole at the finals, what's your message to these guys? With the picks that you have available, how do you weigh the importance of drafting, rebuilding young, with the potential of packaging those picks and trading for a proven talent? Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to let you go ahead and answer the phone. Thank you so much for your time.
You've become a dominant force in the paint, especially this postseason. What has been the key to your breakout success?
Your recovery last year, it seemed like it took a long time. At any point, did you think maybe this is over?
So it's like kind of padding that
stat
padding the
sheet, get a little greedy,
also,
you know,
see?
eat a little bit more.
That's the real inside stuff right there.
And you have come back to a great team now in a very competitive Western Conference. What does it mean to you to be back in contention?
Now let's talk this righty-lefty situation, because you've made a transition in the last couple of years. How was that transition?
At this point with Monte, it's kind of become like a 1-2 punch. Describe that chemistry there.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the headband? On, off? Does he need it? Is it necessary? Where did it go?
What does it feel like to have guys now emulating that kind of wrong-legged fadeaway jumper?
I mean, no, I have a weird-shaped head.
So we're like the weird shaped head twins?
Yeah. Look at our heads. Well, you have done a great job kind of being the guy that when they tell you what to do, you never say, I would rather not. Which leads us to a little game of Would You Rather.
You this year have had an historic season thus far. I mean, you're passing guys like Jerry West in the record books. Reggie Miller, you already passed as well. For the rest of forever, your name is going to be with those guys.
Oh, yeah. On his show. Okay, let's just get it straight. It's my show. We just need a pretty face for the poster, so we're going to bring you on.
So I'm just like the kind of like
I'm
the trophy.
the brains behind.
I'm just like the trophy guy.
You're
like
the trophy host.
Stand here and just like.
Yes. You just nod and smile. Oh, wow, he is good. Grant Hill, watch out.
Yep.
He's coming for you. He should probably be ready to retire any day now.
Yeah.
Coach, after losing Game 1 of any playoff series, LeBron-led teams come back and win Game 2 now 9 times in a row. Is there an added level of confidence in this locker room with LeBron at the leadership point? Oh, guys, before we get into any of it, what's it like going back to a place like San Antonio, back to a place where you hold so many memories, where there was so much significance to your time in that jersey? What are your expectations for Tony's return? After breaking down that Game 1 film, primarily in the second half where the Warriors pulled away, what did you see that contributed to that deficit on your team's side? I can confirm, by the way, I have been to the TD Garden with Kevin, and about every 6 seconds as we're trying to make our way to the dressing room, somebody stops him that was there and loved you during your time with the Celtics, which is a really special thing. Yeah. Good luck tonight, Coach.